Okay, I just need to share this. Are you? No. Um, Wait. What's up, guys? Give me 1 second. Do you see? No, refresh page. That's it. What's up, guys? Thanks, Ishan. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mad Lad. I'm just I guess there's enough people to get started. So yeah, any questions that you have, I'll get started. Hey, Asnath. Christy Savior. Thank you. Yeah, WrestleMania, I always get comments about that show. It's still probably the favorite thing I've ever done. So I appreciate it. After 6 or 7 years, it's still people's favorite. So thanks. Do I have a favorite movie? I have a couple of answers for that. My go-to is probably Endgame because I'm a huge comic book guy, and Endgame was like the movie I've been waiting for my entire life. So, yeah, for the quick and easy answer, Endgame is probably like, to me, the best movie ever created. But my other movies would be Goodfellas. I'm a big Scorsese fan. SpiderMan 2, probably like the first really, really amazing comic book movie. Yeah, I have a lot of different answers there, but those are some quick answers for you. Thanks, Austin fan. You're always in these chats showing support, so I appreciate you. Make sure you leave a comment when you watch it, so you let me know what you think. If it was possible to do a War Games in 2K, probably not. I think I'm done doing multi-man matches because those take up so much time. Like even the Elimination Chamber, you saw that I kind of compressed it to like, to show the end because I just don't have the time right now. But I mean, I would love to see a War Games match in the game so I could play it. Thanks, Ishan. I was actually a little afraid that the reverse spot with the what was it, the calf crusher into the armbar, like I thought that would look a little too contrived, but I'm glad that it worked. I couldn't figure out any way to have Shawn Michaels flip out of that move, so I was like, let me just reverse it and see how it's received. So I'm glad that it looked okay. Mohamed Boumaza, for the last time, I'm not doing Batista versus The Rock. I'm just not. But I appreciate you continuing to be a supporter. AJ versus Kurt. I mean, that's happened a million times. I don't think I could do it any more justice than it's already been done. So, how did I put the greatest WrestleMania real life talk? I just got a bunch of clips of them, doing promos against other people and just edit it together to make it sound like they're talking to each other. So yeah, I mean, just find clips if you want to try doing that. Find clips of different people and try to edit it to make it sound as seamless as possible. And and see if you can make something cool. Thanks, Ishan. I appreciate it. This is how long did it take to get done? I started scripting this almost like a week after Seth versus Edge. So I want to say a little more like a month and a half. Because like halfway into the process, I came up with the idea of doing the whole Road to WrestleMania series and thought, I should do something special. I'm not going to do an entire show this year because, again, I just don't have that much time. So I was like, let me do something a little extra. Let me give you guys a glimpse into how the Road to WrestleMania is, because if any of you guys remember from my announcement video way back when I was coming back and a couple of live streams, I think I'm gonna go away from like the whole linear like pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view, because it's just too restrictive at this point. I don't release videos that frequently anymore. So to make it a little bit more fun, I had the polls up like, which match do you guys want to see? And so since I went basically from TLC to WrestleMania, I was like, why don't I just fill those blanks in with here's how Shawn won the title. Here's how AJ won the Rumble. Here's how Shawn retained his title Elimination Chamber. So those added a lot more time to the process. If I just went from doing a promo to the match, you guys would have had the match probably, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks earlier. But yeah, I decided to do that because it's WrestleMania season, make it feel a bit more special. I'm glad the people who did catch the season, the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber matches. I'm glad that you guys like that, because as a couple of people have commented, it's actually a little more efficient, because to do 20 to 30-minute matches every single time for matches that are supposed to be just transitional matches, in order to get to the big match. Everybody wanted to see Shawn Michaels versus AJ. So while Shawn Michaels versus Cesaro is a match that I wanted to do, that one isn't nearly as big as AJ Shawn Michaels. So yeah. So to answer, I forgot who asked that question. I think it was David King. That's how long it took, and that's why it took so long. Who's my favorite superstar? The Rock, easily. He's my GOAT. Stone Cold versus AJ. That sounds cool. It's not really a dream match of mine, and I don't know how much I would enjoy doing that, but that sounds like a cool match. Is there any chances of using Cause in my matches? I used to use Cause. If you were around for the WrestleMania series and even earlier, every match that Kurt Angle was a part of was a created character, because Kurt Angle wasn't in the 2K games. In like 2K, he wasn't in any of the 2K games, so I had to use a created character. Same thing with Benoit. In the Benoit Dan Bryan match, I had to use a created character. But now, not really. I wouldn't use a created character just because it would be more of a headache. That's actually why I use 2K20 for Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan, because 2K20 actually had Hogan, and I didn't feel like going through the whole process of like trying to figure out how to piece his taunts together and his moveset. So Cena, I'm a Cena guy too, actually. Cena's probably in my top 5 favorites ever. Punk versus Austin I've done already. So you could check out my playlist. I actually made a playlist because I noticed that people would be asking for matches that I already did, and I made it easier for you guys. So if there are matches that you think that I haven't done yet, just check the channel and you'll see that I have a playlist, and you can go through and see all the old videos that I've done. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. It's crazy to me that a dude who made YouTube videos in his bedroom was such an inspiration to people. So I appreciate that. Cena versus Flair, that's a good one. And actually that I'll reiterate, because I've repeated this every single stream, but I don't know how many new people there are. This was one of my last major matches. Shawn Michaels versus Styles was one of the matches that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I'm actually really happy that I was able to do it. Um, so with that said, I think I'm gonna start to veer away from doing these full scale matches and just stick with just doing promos. Um, I have I have three matches that I really want to do uh, before I really hang it up. So you're still gonna get matches from me, but it's not gonna be as frequently as you're accustomed to. Um, so if you see me start to just upload custom promos and that's it, you know why. Um, Cena versus Austin, yeah, that's a match I wanted to do for a while, but I'm kind of stone cold out because I've used him a lot. Thanks, Michael Drux. I appreciate it. What's up, TWI? I don't know how you want to pronounce your name. Twy 200. What's up? Um, Jeff Hardy versus Dean Ambrose. I mean, that's an interesting choice. I'm not too quick to use Dean Ambrose. He doesn't really have a lot of dream opponents for me. So, um, yeah, but that's a decent one. I might make that a promo, right? So the ones that I'm not too crazy about doing matches with, I would definitely love to just try out different promos, like just do a Jeff Hardy, Dean Ambrose custom promo and put it out there and leave it at that. Um, Bringing back Bret Hart. Yeah, I mean, I love Bret, but I feel like the extent that I use Bret Hart in my universe is probably the extent I will go because Bret Hart, Dan Bryan, Bret Hart, Kurt Angle are like the two major dream matches I have for Bret. Um, Obviously, you have Bret versus Styles and Bret versus CM Punk. Those also are pretty big dream matches, but it's a little redundant at that point, right? You just have two guys who are really good at wrestling, and you know, I feel like it's a bit samey at that point, which is why I kind of stopped using Punk, right? Because I used Punk against Angle, I used Punk against Austin, I used Punk against Brock Lesnar before the actual Brock Lesnar match. Like Punk versus Styles, for example, like that would be a great match, but I just did Punk versus HBK. It wouldn't be too different than a match like that. So, um, Too Lethal. Hey, what's up, Mr. Dragon? How you doing? Too Lethal. Kind of. I have an idea of what I want to do next, but again, I don't know much longer I'm going to be doing these full simulation style matches. You know, they take 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute match. You know, again, this took about a month and a half to complete, and it was a hard month and a half. Like I was in front of my computer for hours at a time, and it was fun to do that again. But you know, between Hogan Austin, which I had help with from Broken Fun Bash, but between that match, the Seth Edge and the HBK Styles, I've given you guys a lot of content. Not to mention the Road to WrestleMania videos. I've given you guys a lot of content the last 2 to 3 months. So I think I'm gonna just chill out for a little bit and scale it back. I'm still gonna be releasing videos, but not in the same way. 2K14. No, I haven't used 2K14 in a while. I the match that you saw for Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles was from 2K19. Now, if 2K22 is an amazing game and I get the bug to really go in again, then that's a different story. But right now, I don't know how much more I'm doing with this. Cocaine Cat, yeah, pretty much. I had to pretty much adjust to to the new games, and I think I did pretty well. I think once I started getting the hang of it, I was able to really dig in. The only problem is still time. I just don't have the time to do these like I used to. I appreciate Christy 2313. It's kind of like the encyclopedia from my universe. Knows all the matches that happened already. Ishan, yeah, like Cena versus Taker is a good one, and I would like to do a proper one. But again, in the in the grand scheme of dream matches that I've done, that was a pretty low on the totem pole. Even for Cena and Taker both have dream matches with other people that I'd rather do before I do anything with them two, if that makes sense. Mohammed, it's a little invasive. I don't um yeah, I'm gonna decline to answer that question. Those two questions. I mean, my name you can see on my Twitter account, but still, like, it's a little invasive. So I'll pass right over that one. Taker versus Sting. I'll say this: Taker versus Sting is one of the three matches that I still want to do. So don't pencil it, but I hope to still deliver that match to you guys sometime in the future. But Rusev versus Angle doesn't interest me, so no, I wouldn't really do that. Fatal four way, no, because what was it? I think the Shield versus NWO match, between the Shield versus NWO match, the Elimination Chamber match, and even the triple threat match with Brett, Angle, and Dan Bryan, I'm scared away from doing multiple man matches forever. Those are so hard. Triple threat matches are manageable, but once it gets to like 4 people, it becomes a mess. And doing the tag match with Shield versus NWO, that was so long ago, but I still remember just how painstaking it was to do that. Thank you, Asnath. I appreciate it. It's nice. It's nice when talent is recognized. Is there a match that I've done that I wish gained more praise? No, actually. I feel like the matches that I really thought were good, were like, for the most part, you guys have been really great fans of the channel, and anytime you guys liked the match, you made sure to specify that you liked it. So, Power Cat, I can't say that I mean, I guess Seth Rollins versus Edge, only because the channel is not as popular as it once was, because of the new YouTube algorithms. My videos aren't as viewed as they used to be, and so whatever viewers the Seth Rollins Edge match got was cool, and whoever watched it and commented and supported, I appreciate it. But yeah, I would say that one, just because the channel's kind of in a downward trend, because I left YouTube for a long time, and then I came back. The algorithm is completely different, and if you're not releasing videos often, YouTube is not putting your channel in the forefront. So if there was one match I wish had a little bit more exposure, I don't know about praise, but it would be Seth Rollins versus Edge, because that one I really worked hard on. Cocaine Cat, did I rely on CPU? I actually, for my PS3 for 2K14, I had 5 controllers, so it was actually easier for me to do matches, 4 matches. That's the thing. With my PS4, I only have 2 controllers, so it actually would be hard for me to do matches that have more than 2 people in them. Dylan Walker, I appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for the respect. Yeah, Caesar Sinclair. That's a big example. Caesar, I got a lot of people saying, "Wow, I can't believe you came back." And it's like, I've been releasing videos since January, and there are people still giving me comments like, "Wow, you came back. It's good to have you back." And it's like we're 6 videos into my comeback, and people still don't know that I release videos, and it's because the algorithm is messed up. Like, unless you click on that bell, people aren't gonna get notifications that you uploaded anything. So yeah, it's really hard. Um, Cocaine Cat. Yeah, that Rock profile picture. I mean, hey, like I said, he's the GOAT to me. He's my favorite. That was way back when I was really bad at Photoshop and I just needed a profile picture to kind of put up there. And then it wasn't until recently, Broken Fun Bash, when I worked with Broken Fun Bash, he offered to make me a logo to put for my channel. And I was like, yeah, this channel's due for a makeover, so to speak. So yeah. Yeah, Ishan. Yeah. I mean, you have to actually look for your favorite YouTubers to see if they uploaded anything new. It's really weird. I don't know why they sabotage their users like this, but you know, yeah, it is a little bit discouraging because I came back hoping to come back to like the fan base that I had before I left, but a lot of you guys just don't see the videos. So again, I'm really appreciative for the ones who do see it, who stuck around and who left comments and stuff like that. Um, any matches I want to do with the Fiend? Not really. WWE ruined the Fiend for me, and I mean, you could say Taker. That might be the one thing I might want to do something with Sting, but not really. Um, yeah, Cameron Bag. Yeah, he's good, man. He's good with the graphic design stuff and the presentation. Um, Ultimate Warrior, I wouldn't be against it. I would do promos with Ultimate Warrior. But I mean, yeah, before I do matches, I would love to do just promos. And have fun with it. And I think that's what just doing just promos is gonna do is um allow me to have a little bit more freedom. So like I'm never gonna have Big Show in any of my matches. I just don't have a desire to do Big Show versus anybody. But in a promo, I would love to just have fun with that. Like Big Show versus whoever, just because Fiend and Sting, yeah, that's a good one. They both have that dark, mysterious vibe going on for sure. Johnny Gargano versus Michaels, that's a good one. I actually, Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn was one that I really thought about, that I got excited about when I thought about it. Um, but yeah, it might be one that just kind of it's a good, exciting match that I just kind of leave in the back burner. Ray versus Johnny Gargano was one that I wanted to do. Will we see more WrestleMania matches like today's video? Thanks, Chris Pillington. Pilkington. Sorry. I appreciate the nice comments. You might see one more match, but I'm just saying now. I'm not gonna have an 8-match show like I used to, like I did for the last one. And again, that show, I'll reiterate, took me 4 months to do from start to finish, and that was a time when I was a college student and I didn't have a full-time job and I didn't have things to do. It's just not. It's not feasible to do stuff like that now. So no. Thanks, Cocaine Cat. I appreciate it. I mean, hey, I love wrestling, and I pay a ton of attention, tons of attention to detail. I don't even know if I said that right. So when I'm making these matches, I always go back to what do I want out of a match, and when I'm scripting out the matches, that's what I go back to. And I'm a fan just like you guys, so I just know what I like, and I just put that in the matches. So every time as much as I know you guys like the channel, I say this all the time. I get nervous every time I upload a video because I never take it for granted that you guys expect a uh certain match, a certain quality of match, and I'm always like, I don't know if I wonder if they're gonna like this spot. I don't know if they're gonna dislike this, and every time you guys like it, I'm relieved. So, um, thanks a lot. Am I looking forward to WrestleMania this year? Actually, yeah, because I think the 2 night thing, I think it worked well last year. We've all been talking about it, right? As fans, WrestleMania is super long. Nobody wants to sit down for 6-7 hours to watch a match, and you can always tell by the end of the show the crowd is dead because they've been there all day. And I feel like the last couple of years, WrestleMania's main events have been hurt by dead crowds. And so I really like the 2 night formula that they're going with. And I'm excited for crowds being back to a certain capacity. So, and I'm excited for Bobby Lashley being champ. I wonder what they're going to do with him. So there's a little bit of intrigue going into this year. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to WrestleMania. Twy 200. Stay tuned. That's all I'll say in regards to your last comment. I don't want to give future plans away, but yeah, that might be something in the works. How can you support me? I don't know. That's up to you guys. How can you guys support me? The last time I tried to do something to that extent, it didn't really work out well. So want to see The Rock again in more matches. The Rock, he's my favorite of all time, but I don't know how many more dream matches I have with him in mind. I feel like I've done everything I could with him. If anything, I might redo certain matches. Like The Rock versus Shawn Michaels is a match I already did, but it was way back when the channel was still brand new, and I didn't really know exactly what I was doing with this. I feel like a brand new Shawn Michaels versus Rock match would be pretty cool, but other than that, I don't really want to do that. Yeah, Goldberg versus Reigns. No, I don't have any real desire to do that. But later, Mike. Thanks for stopping by. I'll guess I'll be here for another 20 minutes or so. So if, again, I love kicking with you guys. So any questions you might have, keep them coming. Thanks, Vibes. I appreciate it. Yeah, 2015 was like the start, was like the peak and decline of the channel because 2K15 was so bad, and I pretty much started to stop doing videos at that point. Do I have any good match ideas for Triple H? No. And that's no slight to Triple H. I like Triple H, but he's one guy. He's one like top tier superstar that it's weird for me. I don't have a single opponent that I would love to see with Triple H. It's weird. Julian Arnold, I answered someone earlier before. I said just stay tuned. I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want to give away any potential plan I might have. But 2K15 was really bad in general. To why the game didn't have highlight reels, so I literally couldn't go on with the channel, which is one of the reasons the channel died. Broken Dreams theme, yeah, that was a badass theme. I'll give you that. Kane versus Sting. People who remember my last stream was here to kind of hear like my mini rant on Kane. I love Kane, but no, Kane will never be in any one of my videos. Oh, thanks, Deadman, for the Stone Cold versus Brock Lesnar. Again, I personally can't go back to those matches because the editing to me was so uh, amateurish. Um, now I feel like I'm a much better editor. I'm a much better scripter of matches. So any old matches like that, I have a hard time going back to because they're so. For me, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like they're kind of bad to me. But Ricochet, I love Ricochet. I hate the fact that he's not doing anything in WWE. It's just one of the many reasons why I've been disconnected from the product. Like you have talent like Ricochet and Cedric, and even Cesaro, who's a little older now, but Andrade is asking for a release. You have all this young talent, and you have Edge in the main event of WrestleMania. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I laugh every time I think about those old Monday Night War documentaries where they used to make fun of WCW for using old guys, and you'd be like, WCW, where they went wrong, they relied on Hogan and Savage and all the old guys from WWF. And the reason why we won the war is because we focus on young talent. We cultivated The Rock and Stone Cold and young new guys. And I'm like, you guys are doing the same thing that you criticized WCW for. So, Chris Moore versus Daniel Bryan, I already did that match. It's in part 1 of my WrestleMania. So check that out on my channel, King Joey. It's actually one of the best matches I've ever done. So you should enjoy it a good bit. It's at least in terms of feedback, that's one people tell me is one of their favorites. So John Matthews, but I mean that doesn't make, no one's saying he should lead the company. No one's saying he should be the face of WWE, but he's not doing anything. He's barely on TV, and that doesn't make any sense. Like I'm not saying Andrade should be WWE champion, but he should be doing a lot more than he is. He's super talented. On NXT, he was one of the best wrestlers. He was delivering 5-star matches on takeovers, and as soon as he got to the main roster, it was quiet for him. So, right, Slee, that doesn't make sense. Like the average age of the Rumble was like somewhere in the mid-30s, and that's crazy for the amount of talent that you have. Like Sami Zayn is basically product placement at this point. The last good match that guy's had, I can't even remember. So it's awful. Thanks, Son Goku. I appreciate you. Hey, what's up, Jeff? What are you doing in here? Early 2013. Yeah, that's when the channel started really taking off. So yeah, you came at a good time, Christy. What is my favorite non-wrestling video game? Wow, that's a loaded question because I have a lot. But Budokai 3, Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is like my favorite anime of all time. So Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 and one of the Tenkaichi games would be up there. Ratchet and Clank for the PS4 is a good one. Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorites. SpiderMan PS4 is up there. It's in my top 3 video games ever because SpiderMan is my favorite character, fictional character ever. Spider-Man. For John Matthews, what do I expect from new gen in terms of physics? I just expect things to be more intuitive because I feel like a lot of stuff, I can't pinpoint them off the top of my head, but I feel like there are things about the games in this current gen that they went for realism at the expense of things that just made sense that a player would want to do. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I would have to play it and take notes and stuff, but that's my thing. Yeah, Ishan, I agree. When you make billion-dollar deals like they're out of style, you have no reason to think about the consumer at that point. Like you made $1 billion deal with Fox. You have $1 billion deal with the Peacock thing. You have a 9-figure deal with USA, I would imagine, or something close to that. Like you have no reason to care about ratings or whatever. Uh, hey Hunter, my favorite wrestling match is Rock Austin 2 from uh, WrestleMania 17. How long? Oh, hey, what's up, 2K Gaming Guy? So 2K Gaming Guy approached me to make my match card, and it came out pretty good, as you could see. Much appreciation to him. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. I don't have his Instagram name, but his all the stuff information's in my video, so check him out. He did a really great job with that. I really appreciate it. So I'm glad you joined 2K Gaming Guy. Favorite Spider-Man movie? My goes between Spider-Man 2 and Far From Home, because Far From Home and I mean, look, again, Spider-Man is my favorite character of all time. So that drought that Spider-Man went from Spider-Man 3 all the way to Amazing Spider-Man 2 was such a depressing time as a moviegoer, because literally I saw the character stock drop with every movie. So when Homecoming came out, I remember leaving the movie theater and I was like, it's been more than a decade since I've left the movie theater feeling this good about a Spider-Man movie. So Homecoming, for that, just restoring the good feeling of being a Spider-Man fan, and Far From Home for like Mysterio again me and my friend would talk about it when we were kids. Like Mysterio is the one character we'd love to see in a Spider-Man movie, and they did him justice. Jake Gyllenhaal destroyed that role. So yeah, I can't give you one favorite because my mood changes by the day. My least favorite wrestler, I don't really have one. Off the top right now, it'd probably be Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal is someone who I credit with currently not being invested into the product like I used to. My viewership, like, declining coincided with his championship run, which was like 7 months, which made no sense. So off the top, it'd be him. Do I like DC Comics? I'm not a DC hater. I do like some of their characters and some of their shows. Like I have the Batman Beyond collection here, like the DVD collection. Batman the Animated Series is one of the greatest cartoon shows of all time. I love the Wonder Woman movie, the first one, not the second one. The first Wonder Woman movie was great. I loved Shazam. Batman Begins and Dark Knight are two of my favorite comic book movies of all time. I'm one of the few who actually likes Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight. Not because I think Batman Begins is a better movie, but because The Dark Knight is that movie that everybody knows. Like The Dark Knight is that movie that I used to go on YouTube to just look at Joker clips all day. I can quote Joker scenes and stuff like that. So when I go back to Batman Begins, it feels like a newer movie because that's not the movie that people revisit as much. So I end up enjoying Batman Begins more. Static Shock. Yeah, Static Shock is up there with some of my favorite cartoons of all time. So yeah, I love. I can't say I love because I'm a Marvel guy, but I'm not one of those toxic fans that just they crap on anything. But on both sides, like I can't stand DC comic fans who just they'll conveniently dislike Spider-Man Homecoming, but like Amazing Spider-Man because it's not from Marvel. Like I hate you guys. I hope none of you guys are in this chat. Jinder versus Great Khali. No. More technical wrestling. I think the amount of technical wrestling that they have is great. It's fine the way it is. I just feel like there just needs to be more of a variety in the gameplay. It needs to feel that I'm playing a different character every time. Um, like I remember Here Comes the Pain. The way that the overalls were set, I felt like I was using Rey Mysterio when I was going up against Brock Lesnar. Like that felt like the hardest match that you could ever book in that game because the way that the gameplay was with the overalls, Ray's attacks did little to nothing against people like Goldberg and Rey Mysterio and Big Show. So when you were fighting as Ray, you felt like you had to really strategize. If you were someone like Kurt Angle, because the technique rating was high, you felt like you had a little bit more of a swagger to you, like the real life Kurt Angle would have in a match. Like you felt like you could out wrestle anyone you were going against. And same thing with a Benoit or an Eddie Guerrero. Like the gameplay felt different depending on who you used. And I feel like that's been lacking a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed the older Spider-Man movies and you don't enjoy these, that's your opinion. That's your prerogative. I just hate the people who are like anything Marvel produces, I'm just gonna crap on because I like DC and DC Marvel War. Like I just feel like that's so childish and I don't even engage in conversations like that. Christy, I appreciate you. Yeah, do what you got to do. I'm gonna actually be out soon. I give it 15 more minutes, and I'm gonna be out at 6:30. So any other questions you guys have, let me know. Or if you guys, if you guys got to go, then whoever wants to stay in the chat, let me know. 2K19 for me. 2K19 is like the last really good 2K game. Yeah, like the way they walk. I remember the games used to have like stances where like if everyone had a different idol stance, like Undertaker would have this boxing stance where he was swaying from side to side with his fists in the air. Kurt Angle had the wrestler stance where he was like hunched over. They took all of that out and everyone feels the same. It's just, it's different. I remember even RVD, right? Like if people had different ways of climbing the turnbuckle. So RVD would hop over, he would do that leap over, like he would do that leap over like he would in real life. And eventually they made it like if your speed was a certain level, you can do the leap over. If your speed was under a certain level, you climb up a little slower. So yeah, those little details they just took out, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean DC, I don't agree with people who just crap on DC all the time and think DC's the worst. I think their movie universe really dropped the ball? Absolutely. I feel like Man of Steel could have been better. Man of Steel is a solid movie, but it could have been a lot better. Suicide Squad was really bad. Batman vs Superman was mediocre. Justice League was so bad, clearly, that they had to re-release it. I mean, they did a lot of things that weren't great, but I don't think DC as a whole is terrible. I think they have really cool characters. The Flash TV show I watched for a while, that Green Arrow was a show I followed. So DC is definitely obviously it's a legendary comic / TV movie studio. It's good. It's really good. Female matches, I do want to do that. I've been asked about that a lot, and I really want to do it justice. It's just that I have so many dream matches that I'm like, I have to put the correct amount of time to making it really good. So I want to do that sometime soon. Absolutely, the AEW game. I can't wait to try something different. Like it's been such a long time since I've been able to just play something that's not a 2K WWE style game that I would love to try anything different. K1 or K1, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. but for me, I remember being in a theater with my friends because again, me and my friends, we're Marvel people, but we watch the movie because we're comic book people first. So during that time where it was like Civil War versus Batman versus Superman, obviously we were like Civil War is going to be a better movie, right? We were like, because one, Civil War is my favorite comic book story, period. That was like the first major comic book story that I remember reading. And so when that was on screen, that when I was making it to a movie screen, I was like, yeah, I'm in. But Batman vs Superman is Batman vs Superman. That's the one of the most iconic stories ever. And some of the animated movie adaptations were really good. So when that movie came out, it was like, we're going to see this. This is a win for comic book movies, not just DC or Marvel or whatever. So we went in, even after the negative reviews, we were like, we're going to go in and really give it a shot. And the beginning came, it was like, all right, this is a solid movie. Like the way you saw Bruce Wayne looking at the chaos that Superman was causing when he was fighting Zod, that was a great way to begin it. And then it just like, I remember like hour one passed and we're like, what's going on? Like nothing's happening. The story, like Bruce and Bruce's hatred of Clark Kent's hatred of Bruce Wayne. I don't even remember like the plot. It's been so long since I've watched the movie, but it just it fell off the reins for me. But I'm hoping the re-release of Justice League can really change a lot of people's perception because DC's now like they're kind of the underdog. So a lot of people are rooting for them to do well. So what would I like in a new GM mode? I would like the customization of universe mode with the control that we used to have with GM mode. So I remember in the GM mode, it was like you had the ability to sign wrestlers and monitor their morale and put them in matches and see the 5-star element. I would love that aspect with the customization and freedom of universe. Like you're booking the universe and you're able to kind of see the ramifications of booking your universe that way. Right. Like I remember if you put Edge in a Hell in a Cell match one week and then a steel cage match the next week, his injury rating would go up and you have to kind of chill out. Right. So I would like to see that come back. Have I tried playing Battlegrounds? No. Yeah, I'm not really interested in Battlegrounds. So I didn't really like these days, if I have to know I'm gonna play a game for more than a week for me to buy it. And Battlegrounds was like that kind of game where it's like, oh, this is cool, but I'm not gonna touch it. So I wasn't gonna spend $60 on a game like that. Yeah, I agree, John. I agree. The season mode, just give it some different energy. Like give us some replay value. Like universe mode isn't first of all, cutscenes don't happen enough in universe mode. Things just take too long to happen. And so that kills the replay value. The concept of universe mode should be something where it's like you should be able to play well into the next year. And it takes forever to get a cutscene. Like you might get one or two cutscenes between now and the next pay-per-view, and it's like the same cutscene. And yeah, it's just not. It's not. There's not enough variety in universe. So I feel like if you merge GMO with universe plus the live update thing that they're talking about, because the NBA games is like if someone has a bad game, right? Like if Steph Curry goes 1 for 20 from the 3-point line, he's no longer going to be a 99 from 3. For that week, he's going to be a 90, right? And that adds to the replay value. Like if someone is having a bad week or a bad month, let that reflect in the game. Don't let us wait a whole year. It's archaic. It's not like last 2 gens where it's like, here comes the pain. Eddie Guerrero's overall is a 75. But since Here Comes the Pain was released, he became WWE champion. I think Eddie became WWE champion in like February of 2004. So in Here Comes the Pain, Eddie Guerrero was like super outdated because his overall was a reflection of his Los Guerreros days. We don't have to do that anymore. It's like, oh, if Eddie Guerrero wins the title in February of 04, let that reflect in the game. Don't let us wait until the next year. So, what age did I love wrestling? I would say around 6 or 7, smack dab in the middle of the Attitude Era. So I started watching around 98 or 99. Funny enough, like when I first started watching, I was a guy who I just wanted to watch cartoons, and my cousin was always watching wrestling, and I was like, change this channel. I don't want to see this. But as I'm forced to watch it, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, who's this Rock guy? Who's Stone Cold? Who's Undertaker? I remember one of my first big memories was Stone Cold on the cross of Taker's logo. Yeah, I used to have nightmares about Taker, so that was like my first real significant wrestling memory. Yeah, Ishan, I did the same. Me and my friends, like, you're able to verse each other in GM mode. So I remember, like, if you wanted to beat your friend in ratings, you had to book really good matches. So I would book like Hell in a Cell matches on a SmackDown, and it'd be like, yeah, half your roster's injured now, so you can't do anything. Maybe. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, NBA 2K has added all of this already. Like, you have Shaq and Kenny and Ernie doing the halftime thing, and they're like their voice act, the game is literally adapting to what's going on. Like, it'll be like, oh, Donovan Mitchell has scored 20 points. What do you think he needs to do to do go whatever? Like he's gonna react to like the way you're playing in the game. Like, the fact that 2K, the WWE games are so far behind the NBA games, like it doesn't make any sense. I'm just trying to make sure to acknowledge the gentleman by Daniel's story. Who are you talking to? They should keep the characters in the game. What are you talking about? Which characters? Uh, Opinions on you and Jericho in another match? Probably not. I haven't been the biggest fan of Jericho recently. I feel like he's been super corny since going to AEW. And just in general, like, I don't have a lot of dream matches for him left, so I don't really want to do that. I don't have any other matches in mind. Yeah, I like that's why the Ministry Taker is still my favorite version of Taker, because I think he, like, that was like the first time I really was afraid of the Undertaker. Before Ministry Taker, he was scary, I think, but he was in a more cartoony version of WWE. I think Attitude Era was a bit more reality based, and they went with the devilish satanic beard and the the occultish type chants and the entrance music. The whole thing was just crazy. So all right, guys, it's 6:30. So I'm gonna sign off here. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thanks for joining in. Be on the lookout for whatever I have coming next. And was that if Cesaro was still WWE champion? If Cesaro was still champion in my universe, You mean like between SummerSlam when he fought Jericho and when he fought HBK? Uh, he actually had a list. I think I went over this like in a couple streams ago, but I remember saying like I had a whole lineup. I think after he fought uh Jericho at SummerSlam, Night of Champions would have been against Rey Mysterio, I believe. Then at I think Hell in a Cell, I would have had him against Undertaker for obvious reasons, right? Hell in a Cell fits the theme. Then at Survivor Series, I think I was gonna have him against Brock Lesnar because Survivor Series is kind of a big 4 pay-per-view. And yeah, I was gonna have him fight Brock Lesnar. Because Cesaro versus Brock Lesnar personally was always a big dream match of mine. Ever since Cesaro was paired with Heyman, I always wanted to do that in the game. Like have that be the end goal of Cesaro's run was for him to get to Brock Lesnar and take down Brock Lesnar. And then I think for TLC, I don't remember who I had for TLC, but the plan was always to have Cesaro lose to Shawn Michaels so that Shawn Michaels can go on to fight AJ Styles. Daniel, I hope so too, but I mean, can only hope, right? Like the way it is now, unless you're some crazy famous YouTuber, that's impossible. So I can only just be thankful for you guys who stuck around and what continue to support the channel and the way you have been. So final thoughts on the Rock versus Batista. Final thoughts is it ain't gonna happen. So that's my final thoughts. So thanks, guys. I love you guys. I don't know when's the next time we're gonna do this. So, you know, I've had a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the match. Remember to leave a comment under, you know, the match. Make sure to leave a like. Help those algorithms see that the video is somewhat popular. So, yeah. See you soon and have a good one.